Coming up on today's Airborne, the towers will stay open for now. The EAA membership meeting moves to midweek at AirVenture. And Maverick's flying car goes down with minor injuries. Welcome to Airborne on Aero-TV. I'm Ashley Hale. Well, the FAA and the DOT have caved in and relented on the tower closure fiasco. A statement by the Department of Transportation states that, quote, Transportation Secretary Ray LaHood announced today that DOT has determined that the recently enacted Reducing Flight Delays Act of 2013 will allow the FAA to transfer sufficient funds to end employee furloughs and keep the 149 low-activity contract towers, which were originally slated for closure in June, open for the remainder of fiscal year 2013. The FAA will also put $10 million towards reducing cuts and delays in core next-gen programs and will allocate approximately $11 million to partially restore the support of infrastructure in the national airspace system. Expect more, including industry reaction on the story, to come in the next several days. EAA has traditionally held its membership meeting on the final Saturday of AirVenture, but that will be changing this year, and it's a change that ANN feels very positive about. Tom Patton explains.
The meeting will be held midweek this year, according to EAA Chairman Jack Pelton. Members will get together on Wednesday, July 31st at 8:30 a.m. AirVenture is the organization's annual convention. Pelton said the move is in response to comments from the membership that the Saturday meeting was too late in the week for many of them to attend, which meant that there were far fewer members at the annual meeting than might be there otherwise. Pelton said, quote, "We want to see more members at their annual meeting, have them meet and talk with our board members, and also update them on their organization's current status and future direction," end quote. The annual meeting will still include the election of board members, business and financial reports, and a period for questions to the board from members. This year, a vote on restated articles of incorporation will also be on the agenda. In order to vote for board members at the annual meeting, EAA members must bring their current valid membership card. For Airborne, I'm Tom Patton.
One of the developmental prototypes of the Maverick LSA flying car went down this weekend after its parachute canopy suffered some mode of malfunction and went down with minor injuries to pilot Ray Sebring and his passenger. The aircraft, which mates a small Jeep-like ground vehicle with a pusher prop and a Ram Air parachute canopy for lift, experienced an unmanned turn less than 10 minutes into the Friday flight, requiring full opposite corrective control to maintain directional authority, but also produced an excessive sink rate, which could not be arrested before the aircraft impacted the ground. The vehicle is pretty much totaled, according to Sebring, but appears to have done an admirable job of protecting its occupants. The Verdun, British Columbia accident will be under investigation by Canada's Transportation Safety Board. On April 16, 2013, Jabiru Aircraft obtained an order of dismissal from the Superior Court of the State of Arizona in Heeswick versus Jabiru Aircraft. The Van Heeswick family had filed a wrongful death suit against Jabiru Aircraft and several other defendants for damages arising from the death of Gerard Van Heeswick. Gerard Van Heeswick was killed in 2008 when he suffered a fatal crash of his home-built Ariane Lightning kit equipped with a Jabiru engine. Quote, "The evidence that Mr. Van Heeswick himself was responsible for the accident was overwhelming and unavoidable," said Jabiru's lead counsel, Alan L. Farkas. Quote, "The National Transportation Safety Board seems to agree. It ultimately found that Van Heeswick did not properly torque the attachment bolts during the assembly of the propeller, leading to the in-flight separation. Unfortunately," said Farkas, "facts rarely get in the way of a good lawsuit." End quote. No matter how many opportunities we had to settle the case, we stood by our product and we were prepared to defend this case through trial, said Sue Woods, Jabiru's business manager. You're watching Airborne, more in a moment.
Since its inception, Redbird Flight Simulations has been dedicated to developing new training technologies and processes in an ongoing effort to make aviation safer, more affordable, and more accessible. Consider Redbird's flagship flight training device, the FMX, a superior quality, full-motion, feature-rich advanced aviation training device priced with real-world flight training organizations in mind. With standard features that are anything but standard, such as wraparound visuals, a fully enclosed cockpit, quick change configurations, scenario-based training compatibility, and of course, an electric motion platform, the FMX serves up a level of realism that is simply unavailable in other training devices on the market. For more information on Redbird flight simulations, the Redbird FMX, and Redbird's entire line of flight training devices, visit www.redbirdflightsimulations.com.
Welcome back! If you'd like to suggest a story for Airborne, Aero-TV, our website, or our podcast, simply drop us an email to news-spy@aero-news.net. A normal tour for a Blue Angels pilot is 2 years, but this year with sequestration, it's anything but normal. In fact, the Blues have not been shut down since the Korean War in the 1950s, so some of the team's pilot will have their tours extended by a year, under a program announced recently by the Navy. The move reportedly is a safety measure that will allow more experienced pilots to train the new recruits who would fly during 2014. Navy Commander Tom Frosch, who joined the team last November, said he and Navy Lieutenant Commander Nate Barton requested the extension because they will not have flown an air show season in 2013, which would allow them to prepare to train new team members who would normally report in the fall and begin practicing over the winter. Frosch said it was, quote, the lowest risk thing to do, to freeze the 1 through 7 positions so that everybody gets another year to fill that void and not miss a season, end quote. The first production unit of the new Citation M2 has reached the significant milestone of wing and fuselage mating, according to a Cessna news release. Certification is expected in the second half of 2013. Wing mating is a critical juncture in the production process as it allows the team to start the engine installation phase. Wing mating also prepares the aircraft for the beginning of functional testing of the aircraft systems, including avionics, hydraulics, and flight controls. The M2 was developed with input from the already strong Mustang customer base, and the engineering present in this aircraft reflects the customer's desires, resulting in a larger and faster jet with a greater range. The M2 is one of the 6 new Cessna products to hit the market in 2013. Buzz Aldrin says that no one is excited about NASA's planned mission to bring an asteroid into an orbit inside that of the moon, and it says the space agency should be planning to place a manned colony on Mars instead. Speaking at a Humans to Mars summit in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday, Aldrin called President Obama's plan to mine an asteroid a, quote, distraction. The second man to set foot on the moon has recently published a book titled Mission to Mars: My Vision for Space Exploration. Aldrin advocates for a permanent colony on Mars and envisions a scenario in which humans are constantly shuttled to Mars to expand the colony, and the trips would be one way. U.S. News reports that at the same summit, NASA Administrator Charles Bolden said that the asteroid mission is a step towards Mars, which he called the ultimate destination in our solar system and a priority for NASA. Aldrin, however, isn't buying it. He called the asteroid mission a, quote, waste of time that, quote, excites no one. It's full speed ahead on production of the Boeing 787 Dreamliner. As Boeing has rolled out of the factory the first 787 Dreamliner to be built at the increased production rate of 7 airplanes per month. The airplane, which rolled out earlier this week, is the 114th 787 to be built overall, and the 100th 787 to be built at the Everett, Washington factory. Boeing says its 787 program is on track to achieve a planned 10 per month rate by year end. Just 6 months ago, the company announced that it would be increasing the number of Dreamliners coming off its assembly lines to 5 per month. The production rate accounts for airplanes built at the Everett Final Assembly Facility, the Everett Temporary Surge Line, and Boeing, South Carolina. To date, 50 787s have been delivered to 8 airlines. The program has more than 800 unfilled orders with 58 customers worldwide. And now it's time for Aero Video of the Week. There's a saying, man was meant to fly. And since we won't get to see the many jet demonstration teams we also enjoy this year, maybe a short spin in the mighty Viper will help with those withdrawal symptoms. Climb aboard and enjoy the ride in this week's Aero Video of the Week. You can find it on YouTube by searching for Fiends. In the movies, it's the distant call of a bugle that sounds the arrival of a cavalry just in time to save the day. In Rockford, Illinois, it's not the cavalry but a group of Model RC flyers who are coming to the rescue. Even though organizers decided that it would not go on with the Rockford Air Fest in Rockford, Illinois, the Rock Valley RC Flyers Club say it will stage its own air show in a field west of the town. The traditional air show was canceled when it was learned that the Blue Angels would not be able to perform thanks to the sequester. Before you dismiss their efforts, the RCers say their aircraft are not your typical small-scale models made of wood or styrofoam. According to the club member Jerry Ream, the aircraft are hauled out in covered trailers or vans. He said his personal RC aircraft is a Cardin Extra with a 10-foot wingspan. Ream said the club will fly all day long, allowing spectators to join them for free on July 1st, the day that the Airfest had been scheduled. He promised aerobatic biplanes, jets, helicopters, and other aircraft performing stunts that would not be possible in full-sized airplanes. However, the city of Rockford still hasn't given up completely on an air show that would feature full-sized planes, with plans in the works for such an event by the end of August. Well, that's our program for Tuesday, May 14th. Remember, you can get comprehensive, real-time, 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories at Aero-News.net. And please join us again Friday for another edition of Airborne. I'm Ashley Hale. Thanks for watching.